In this video, we'll explain what order processing statistics are used for and how they differ from conversion statistics. To make it easier to understand, let's first open the conversion statistic page. Conversion statistics provide the basic overview of your business performance. They help you analyze how your company is doing overall, how many orders you receive each day, how many are confirmed, how many are cancelled, and how many parcels are delivered or returned. You can also group the statistics by user to see how many confirmation, cancellation, and delivered parcels each employee is responsible for. However, conversion statistics are based on the order creation date. Each row shows how many orders were created on a particular day. The columns then show how those orders are distributed across different statuses: confirmed, delivered, returned, and so on, regardless of when those status changes actually happened. It doesn't matter whether an order was confirmed yesterday, today, or a week later. The statistics only look at two things: the date the order was created and its current status. So if you open this report every day, the number of total orders in each row will stay the same, while these status columns will keep changing as orders move through different statuses over time. Company owners usually rely on conversion statistics because they want to see how newly received orders are progressing through each status day by day. We also have a separate video dedicated to conversion statistics. You'll find the link in the description below. Now let's move on to order processing statistics. Order processing statistics are based on the date when a specific action was performed while processing an order. For this report, it doesn't matter when the order was originally created in this CRM. We've already prepared a custom template for this demonstration, and now I'll show you how to configure it. Now let's take a closer look at the columns in the order processing statistics report. By default, the report is grouped by date, where each row represents the day on which orders were processed. So, what does processed actually mean? Processed order is any order that has at least one action performed on it. For example, if you bulk move 100 orders from one status to another, all 100 orders will be counted in the processed column for that day. So, the processed column shows the number of unique orders that were processed on a specific date. If the same order was processed on both 27th of June and 28th of June, it will be counted once on 27th of June and once again on 28th of June. This means you can always see how many unique orders were processed today, yesterday, or on any other day, making it easy to estimate the daily workload of your call center or your company. Unlike some other reports, such as the conversion statistics, you won't see an arrow that lets you open the matching list of orders in a new tab. That's because this dataset can't be reproduced using the standard order filter. When calculating the processed counter, the system checks the entire order history to see whether that order had any actions performed on the selected day. Let's summarize. In conversion statistics, the main total column shows how many orders were created on each day. In order processing statistics, the main processed column shows how many unique orders were processed on each day. If the same order was processed on multiple days, it is counted once for each of those days. This allows you to measure the actual daily processing workload, regardless of when the order was originally created. Now let's look at the rest of the columns in the report. Each column represents one of the order statuses from your CRM. For example, you may have statuses such as confirmed and cancelled, and your agents move orders into these statuses during processing. This report counts how many of the processed orders were moved into each specific status. Not every status is useful in this report. For example, statuses like delivered, returned, or duplicate are usually actually assigned automatically by logistics plugins or workflow triggers rather than by your agents. That's why you can remove those statuses from the report and keep only the ones your operators actually work with. Typically, these are statuses like confirmed, cancelled, reconfirmed, no answer, drafts, and similar operational statuses. Let's summarize. First, let's look at the conversion statistics again. Here, each status column shows the current number of orders that are in that status. In other words, it reflects where the orders are right now. That's why multiple statuses can be grouped into a single column. For example, our confirmed column includes all of these statuses, and the report simply adds them together to show the total number of confirmed orders. Now compare that with the order processing statistic. Here, each status column shows how many orders were moved into that status on a specific day. For example, on 27 of June, a total of 673 orders were processed. Out of those, 58 orders were moved to confirm and 38 orders were moved to cancel. The same order can appear in multiple status columns on the same day. For example, an agent may have first marked an order as confirmed and later the customer called back and asked to cancel it. In that case, the order would be counted in both the confirmed and cancelled columns. Now let's take a quick look at the report settings, grouping options and filters. The report settings are located in the top right corner, just like in the other statistics page. Here you can rename the columns, change their order, remove unnecessary columns, or add new ones. You can also reset the report to its default settings, save your current configuration as a template, or apply one of your previously saved templates. Each column also has its own subcolumns, and you can configure it here. You can hide the ones you don't need. For example, you might keep only quantity and percent for most columns. But for the confirmed column, however, you might also want to display some average order check and the check growth rate. This allows you to see not only your average order value for the day, but also how much it increased compared to the original order value. Here, you can also change how the percentage is calculated. Once you have configured the report the way you want, you can save these settings as a template and quickly open them whenever you need. In the grouping panel, you'll find the standard grouping options such as days, months, years, as well as more specific groupings like users, projects, and offers. We'll pay special attention to the users grouping since it's the one most commonly used in this report. Now let's switch to the users grouping. Once we enable it, each row represents a user instead of a processing date. The report now shows who processed the orders during the selected time period. For example, during this week, Angela Nixon processed 935 orders. Out of those, she moved 222 orders to confirm and 113 orders to cancel. To summarize, this report is based on two important principles. First, it uses historical order data. It analyzes each order's history. If an order had any processing activity, it will be counted in the processed column. If it was moved to a particular status, it will also be counted in that status. Second, every cell in the report counts unique orders only. For example, if Angela Nixon processed an order and moved it to confirm, that order will be counted once in processed and once in confirmed for Angela. If another agent, for example Bob Johnson, later performed a reconfirmation on the same order, then the order will also be counted once in processed and once in reconfirmed for Bob. This way, each agent's actions are recorded independently, giving you an accurate picture of everyone's workload and performance. Now let's move on to the final feature of this report. As we mentioned earlier, this statistic report is mainly used to analyze how call center employees perform. However, the effectiveness of sales and cancellation for each employee is closely connected with the final delivery rate or return rate. The problem was that we couldn't add delivery rate or return columns using the same logic as other statuses, because operators don't move orders into these statuses. Orders are moved to delivery or return statuses automatically by logistics plugins and triggers. That's why we created a special type of column called the aggregated column. The idea behind this column is that it checks the actual current status of orders and shows a percentage based on the sales column you choose. This feature works only when the report is grouped by users. You can find it using this button. Let's configure an aggregated column and call it Delivered. There are several important settings here. First, select a field with a user type. This field is used to determine which user should be associated with the orders when checking their current status. This means that in your CRM, orders must be linked to the users who made the sales or cancellations. Next, you need to specify the current status. This is the status that the system will check when calculating the aggregated column. For example, to calculate the delivery rate, select the delivered status. To calculate the return rate, select the return status. Then, you need to select the statuses that orders must have passed through before reaching the selected current status. For example, if you want to analyze delivered orders, they may have gone through statuses such as confirmed, reconfirmed, sent, delivered. In other words, you define the group of orders from which the delivery or return percentage will be calculated. This way, you can see how many orders were confirmed, cancelled, or reconfirmed by each operator, and at the same time see the actual delivery rate based on the sales they generated. Now let's take a look at the processing time column. It shows the total and average time spent processing orders during the selected period. It's important to know that if you divide the total processing time by the number of orders, you won't get the average processing time. The reason is that, as we mentioned earlier, each order is counted as a unique order in this report. But in reality, the same order could have been processed multiple times, for example 5 different times. That's why the average processing time is a much more accurate indicator of how much time an operator typically spends processing one order. A few more details. Weekend days, Saturday and Sunday are highlighted in red. At the bottom, in the total row, you can see the overall values and after the slash, the average values. You can also download the report as an Excel file. We hope this video was helpful for you. If you need assistance with setting up this report, please contact our support team.